Evening, everyone. Thank you for joining me, Dorothea, through an Orthodox Christian lens. It is November 8th, 2025. We've got the latest for you coming out of Izzy, its usual antics of craziness and, well, you'll see. Okay. Israel ramps up propaganda spending targeting U.S. churchgoers, ChatGPT users. Tel Aviv is funneling millions into the so-called Eighth Front of its war in hopes of reversing public opinion and silencing anti-genocide voices by weaponizing AI and online propaganda. This came out November 7th. Israel has launched a multi-million-dollar campaign to reshape U.S. public opinion through coordinated influence operations that combine digital marketing, AI, geotagging, and religious messaging, according to a report by Haaretz published on 7 November. The campaign is aimed at conservative and evangelical communities in particular. Well, that's because they already lost the other communities. Documents, and they're losing this one fast too. Documents filed under the U.S. Foreign Agents Registration Act show that Izzy's foreign ministry, tourism ministry, and government advertising agency have contracted a network of U.S. firms via Havas Media Germany to run extensive Hasbara campaigns. The largest contract, worth $6 million, was signed with Clock Tower X, owned by Trump's former digital campaign chief Brad Parscale, or Pascali, however you say it, to produce and distribute roughly 100 core pieces of pro-Izzy content per month and thousands of derivative versions, primarily on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. Messages will circulate through Salem Media Network, a conservative Christian conglomerate that Parscali now helps lead. And here's how this Eighth Front works. You have all the people involved there, as you can see. We have this company, this company, this company, this company, and this one. This one, of course, has both those on there. You know, pro-Izzy ads denying starvation, genocide, and other propaganda. There's $45 million in this one from the Izzy Prime Minister's office. Under the Izzy Ministry of Foreign Affairs, we have this 10,993,961, Havas Media Network, 600,000, 6 million, 900,000, 4,093,961. So all of these things are involved here. News and social media, this one targets pro-Izzy guests on news shows. Okay, so use AI, produce it by U.S. influencers, as we already have seen. This one, church goers and Christian Gen Z students, etc. Geofence, right? So, the second proposed $3 million initiative by evangelical consultant Chad Schnitzger, Show Faith by Works, targets declining support among young evangelicals. Using biblically based arguments, the campaign seeks to link Palestinians to Hamas in Iran while portraying Izzy as divinely central to Christianity when it really isn't. In fact, Izzy's, the people that are the Z's, Zionists, are actually anti-Christs, meaning they're against Christ, okay? So let's just remember that. Plans described the largest geofencing campaign in U.S. history, mapping churches and Christian colleges in 4 western states to identify and track worshipers for ongoing ad targeting, and operation projected to reach around 12 million people. Good Lord. The Izzy Foreign Ministry denies that the plan was carried out, calling such claims disinformation. Even though we saw that on, if you watch Ian Carroll's show, it shows that they registered to do this in a website, a government website, U.S. government website, as far as I can tell, if I remember correctly. Additional filings reveal contracts with Democratic-aligned firm SKDK Knickerbocker to run bot networks that flood social media with pro-Izzy messaging and with targeted communications global to promote Izzy tourism through influencers. Yes, I'm sure they're losing some of that with all the war there. Another project, Esther Project, managed by Bridges Partners, recruits 14 to 18 influencers to post hundreds of times monthly in support of Izzy, echoing Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's efforts to mobilize online personalities as digital soldiers. Medea Benjamin from Code Pink mentions that in her X post. One clause in Pascali's contract outlines a search and language operation designed to influence both search engines and generative AI systems, including ChatGPT and Claude, marking what Haaretz calls the first documented attempt by a state to shape how AI chatbots frame discourse about Izzy. Internal documents cited by Haaretz show that Israel's state-backed non-profit Voices for Izzy defines artificial intelligence as a core tool for perception management. Izzy is hiring a San Diego-based firm called Show Faith by Works, LLC, to target American Christians with Zionist propaganda. Izzy's campaign expands what Prime Minister Netanyahu has called the Eighth Front of Izzy's genocidal war, a digital offensive to erase evidence of its war crimes in Gaza and reshape global opinion. I think it's a bit too late for that. Dubbed the Digital Iron Dome, it merges, this is so pitiful, it merges AI surveillance, mass reporting, and influencer networks to suppress and replace resistant narratives. Yeah, trying to be authoritative over another country's people. Jeez. Platforms like TikTok and Meta have deleted millions of posts critical of Izzy, while paid ad campaigns flood feeds with pro-Izzy propaganda. Netanyahu's government has spent over $145 million on projects such as Project 545 and the Esther Project, contracting Trump-linked firms and influencers to influence social media and even AI tools like ChatGPT and Grok. Investigations by OpenAI and the New York Times exposed Izzy-run networks using fake accounts to push anti-Palestinian content and defend Tel Aviv's actions. Through this system, Izzy seeks to digitally launder war crimes and create a controlled online reality, a model for global information repression beyond Gaza. A Reuters Ipsos poll published in October shows that nearly 60% of U.S. citizens support recognizing Palestine, marking a clear shift in public opinion against Izzy's crimes in Gaza and the occupied West Bank. Quite a project they got going on here. Obviously a huge one, spending all kinds of money, hiring all these soldiers to do all this stuff. It's really a pretty desperate plea. It really just reeks of desperation. And the cat's out of the bag. Everybody's seen what's been happening the past 3 years. It's not going to be erased. Although I heard some things were being erased, even as we sit on this particular, certain places on the internet. I won't mention, but I really do feel like this is a desperate attempt. I think it's not going to really work, no matter what. And, again, I find it very odd of another country doing this. Another country infiltrating a bigger country, a more powerful country, to stop its citizens from sharing their thoughts and beliefs, opinions on what's going on with this, and it's not really a war. This ethnic cleansing and destruction of a civilian population. That's really what it is. And it's just mass murder. So, although you guys already knew that. You knew I was going to say that because you know how I feel about this by now, right? You've seen it many, many times. But I do try to keep up on the news, so I'm sharing it with you. I really hope that this was informative and you got something out of it. Hopefully it doesn't irritate you too much. I know it can be kind of irritating and frustrating to read such news, but it was important to share. So thanks so much for watching. Thanks so much for following my channel. Go ahead and hit that notification bell so that you don't miss any of my videos if you really are wanting to catch them when they come out and they don't get lost in the many other videos out there and other maybe channels that you follow. You can, hit that bell and it'll help. Thanks so much for watching. As I said, God bless you all. Until next time.